Thank you all for giving us an opportunity to actually provide some clarity to our families. So I just wanted to start off by saying that our school district continues to navigate the impact of the high transmission rates of COVID-19 in our area. And we have implemented certain modifications for athletic activities. And we did that in an effort to lessen the potential for spread of the virus and any subsequent disruptions that could have to the learning environment itself. And so we acknowledge the inherent nature of athletic competitions, and we know that they present a unique set of circumstances that create extensive close contact situations where some of our mitigation strategies may need to be relaxed, such as wearing of masks during gameplay. And so while we recognize that athletic participation is voluntary, we also know that it plays a significant role in our students' development, as well as enhances our entire school community. And so with this in mind, we've taken steps that preserve meaningful gameplay, but also we've limited certain non-essential aspects so that we're able to preserve our programs for all. The moves are to help us limit exposure and to limit the likelihood of game cancellations and any major disruptions that could spill over into the school classroom, because our first commitment is to in-person learning. And so as a district, we do track the transmission of COVID-19 in our area and in our schools on a regular basis. And so we note that hospitalizations are down, but we also know that we're far from scaling this Omicron wall, and that's shown in our data. And so we recognize that other districts vary in their mitigation strategies. However, we remain committed to our local strategies that have successfully worked to minimize the spread while still providing opportunities throughout the sporting seasons for our schools to compete with other districts. And so we had a number of facts that we used to make our decision to postpone non-essential travel for athletics. When we initially made the decision, the community transmission rate was at 3,080. As of yesterday, the CTI was 3,118. As of January 21st, in our district, Chatham County, we had 9,068 students that were unable to engage in in-person learning, and that was due to COVID-related concerns. And we had 376 quarantine personnel. We had 5 Savannah-Chatham County public schools, to include Beach, Groves, Johnson, Islands High Schools, as well as Schumann Elementary School, that we had to shift to virtual learning for at least 1 week due to COVID-related staff shortages and or student positive cases. Also, Beach had to remain virtual for an additional week. From January 3rd to January 25th, we had 31 contests that were canceled or rescheduled due to COVID exposures, and many of those were region competitions. Actually, the majority were region competitions. So additional precautionary steps that we took as a result of the extreme high level of transmission: we postponed non-essential travel, we reduced our capacities, and we continue to require masks in all of our venues. So I want to be clear that our district is not banning athletic travel. We're simply suspending non-essential travel, and we're only allowing travel to competitions that have an impact on the school's region standing and any future opportunities for state play. And we do plan to review this after 10 days and make any adjustments if needed. So are there any questions for me?
Hey, this is Ben Singer with WSAB. Thanks for your time today. I'm just wondering if you have do you know how many teams and how many matches or games this affects?
So this month, we have only had 5 non-region contests that have been canceled, and they do have options to reschedule if possible.
So I know one of the concerns that a parent wrote to us last night after we did this story was, her child plays soccer, which is obviously an outdoor sport. So does this include outdoor sports? And is that, the parents want to know if that the parents consider that an overreach, considering it is an outdoor sport. So what would you say to those folks who say it should be allowed to play an outdoor event?
So what I say to them is, of course, we've shared the facts with you, and those facts remain, and we are looking at an inordinately high number of students that we have had to shift to virtual learning. And so what we're doing, our safety precautions that we've put in place is to ensure that we maintain our programs for all students as much as possible. And that's not just athletics, but of course our athletic programs, as well as other programs that we have occurring in the school. As it relates to outdoor sports, right now, all of our sports are operating under the same guidelines, and we'll revisit in 10 days. As we see a shift in transmission rates, and as we see a change in the data, just as we saw a change in the data when it went drastically upward and we saw extremely high levels, we are willing to make the pivot and shift again. But right now, we remain committed to all of these strategies in place because of the spread that we are seeing.
To follow up, if I may, what do you say to parents who wonder why teams from outside the region are still allowed to come here, but our teams are not allowed to go there?
So as mentioned in my statement, thank you for that. It helps me to add clarity. As mentioned, we have certain protocols and practices and mitigation strategies that we implement. So teams do agree to adhere to those when they actually come to Chatham County. When we actually travel to those counties, we agree to adhere to their strategies. So coming here, we're able to actually ensure that our local strategies remain in place.
Good afternoon. This is Matt with Fox 28. I have a question about, is the district getting any guidance or standards from the Georgia High School Association in terms of, athletics, or is it just based off of district by district decisions?
So Georgia High School does provide very general guidance, but a district makes those decisions. Our decisions that we have made do not impact our region, our ability to compete at a region level.
Thank you.
Hi, Amy Zimmer from WJCL ABC Savannah. Thank you for your time today. I just wanted to make sure it was clear for that 10-day time span. Is that starting today, January 26th through February 4th?
No, we actually made this decision. Our review actually will occur on Monday. Our first review for the 10 days, we'll look at the data on Monday.
So could you give me the exact dates then? When did this begin?
We met with all of our schools, I believe on January the 13th, and on January the 14th, we actually then made sure that our schools were aware of exactly what what would be. So that would be our starting date. And 10 school days later will be actually Friday, January 28th, and we'll be meeting with them on that Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Following Monday, yes. Or we'll be providing updates. Let me clarify that. We may not need to have an actual meeting to do that.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
Are there any other questions?
All right. Well, thank you
So I just want to again thank you for this opportunity and just to reiterate that we do remain committed to our student athletes being able to participate and be competitive and gain play. And so again, while we have postponed, suspended non-essential travel, we have in no way postponed or canceled region travel that still allows them to remain eligible for those playoffs and state competitions.
Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.